It's actually time to start bringing some goods, all right? To speak about the global partnership deal between Manchester United, Qualcomm Technology, Snapdragon. The panel is called Bringing Snapdragon to the Pitch. So welcome to the stage, Manchester United ambassador to one of the top English pro footballers of all time, Andy Cole. Manchester United CEO of Alliances, Victoria Timpson. Don McGuire, CMO of Qualcomm. And our moderator and friend, AXIOS senior reporter, Sara Fischer. Welcome to the stage, gang.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Welcome and thank you for joining us today at Stagwell Sport Beach. I have to say, I've been to Cannes so many years. This is by far the coolest execution I've ever seen. So kudos to Mark Penn, Alexis, Beth, Ryan, the whole team, Reagan for making this happen. I'm so lucky to be joined by such an esteemed group of not just people who are professionals in marketing and in sport, but nice people who walked me off a ledge of being so nervous in front of Andy behind the stage. So without further ado, let me introduce everybody. We have, of course, Andy Cole. Welcome, thank you. Formerly of Manchester United. Don McGuire, the Chief Marketing Officer of Qualcomm. And then, of course, Victoria Timpson, who is Man U's CEO of Alliances. And I'll also add that Andy is a club ambassador for Man U. Andy, thank you for making the trip. What's so exciting about this partnership is that for a long time, fans didn't have a way to really engage with the sport that they watched in a one-to-one way. But Qualcomm is changing that through its Snapdragon technology, and it's especially important because this is Man U's first tour in the US, I think in 5 years, right? So, Don, walk us through what this partnership is and how Snapdragon is bringing fandom to the pitch through tech.
Sure. Thanks, Sarah, and thanks for moderating. Sara Fischer from AXIOS, everybody. She's amazing. So when I look at my marketing mix, two of the most important things from a Snapdragon brand building perspective is about partnerships and building community. So from a partnership perspective, I have a unique opportunity to market and co-market with my product partners with brands like Louis Vuitton and Cadillac and Samsung and whatnot. But I also have the opportunity to build brand partnerships with the likes of Manchester United. And it's probably the best example of a partnership that I've ever experienced throughout my career. Kudos to the Manchester United team. They're just amazing to work with. And so it's really about bringing together what my goals are as to build Snapdragon as a global product brand and what Manchester United brings to the table with regards to fandom and their reach and their scale globally as the #1 sports brand in the world, and then how we help Manchester United deliver an enhanced fan experience through our technology. So that's kind of how we look at this partnership and why we pursued it, and we're super, super happy with it so far.
And Victoria, we're going to toss to a video in a second just that helps describe the partnership, but we were just talking about Man U's, Don mentioned Man U's reach. Can you just quickly speak to that? How big is that global fan base?
Thanks for the introduction. And Don, thank you for the kind words. It's always good to hear. So we have a fan base of over 1.1 billion fans around the world. So to positively disrupt with Snapdragon in terms of the products that we use every day and the emotional engagement that our fans have to Manchester United, it's been an emotional season, as I'm sure any Manchester United fan in the audience will be testament to, but successful. And it's engaging with our fans and storytelling through Snapdragon products. So I do have a short video for you here, which is very successful, went viral across 200 countries. And great to show it and tell you some more about the partnership.
All right, let's roll the video.
Have you ever heard of Snapdragon?
No.
A Snapdragon?
Sorry, I don't know.
What is this?
I o que é isso? Ah, coloca dentro do telefone.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Wow, a small thing can engine everything up.
Very impressive.
I use technology every single minute.
I like to use my phone to communicate.
Speak to my mum between 2 and 3 hours a day, which seems a lot, it's not that much.
When I am cooking, I listen to music.
And they play games.
Become a Snapdragon Insider.
Andy, I have a question for you. From the player's perspective, how valuable is it to be able to communicate with your fans? Is it something that they want to do? Is it a burden on them? You hear them talking about how important it is. What do you think?
I think it's paramount. I can only talk about, obviously, as an ex-player now, being retired for so long. I think to engage with the fans is everything you want to do. Manchester United is a phenomenal football club, global throughout the world, which we all know. You know, so having the opportunity to interact with the fans is really, really good. I think in the capacity I'm working in now, I enjoy it. I really do enjoy it. You know, I'm fortunate to travel the world, spreading the gospel of Manchester United and interact with those fans. And for me personally, that's a very, very special thing to be able to do.
And when you're thinking about technology like this, which offers fans exclusive content, prizes, all of that type of stuff, how is this different than how you were able to engage before you had this kind of tech?
Before, I'm not going to sit and tell everyone how old I am. I mean, but in my day, social media and things like that, they didn't work. You know, I'm still trying to get ideas for my kids. I mean, that's how much it's moved on. It's so advanced. So obviously, for us to be involved with Snapdragon, you know, I think it's a fantastic thing we can do.
Don, obviously this is such a huge deal because, one, it's helping Man U reach fans all around the world, especially coming here to the U.S. But two, it's helping fans reach Man U in a different way. What's the feedback that you're getting from people using the tech about ways they can connect with their favorite players that they couldn't before?
Yeah, it's been a phenomenal partnership from a exposure from Snapdragon to this amazing global fan base of Manchester United fans, and then cross-pollinating with our Snapdragon Insider community, which we've been building for a couple years now, globally with about 12 million insiders. So it's been really interesting to see how the cross-pollination has worked and how they've learned about each other. So that's been really cool. You know, that video alone of introducing Snapdragon, we felt that was job one. It was introducing Manchester United fans to what Snapdragon actually is. And that went hugely viral, and the statistics on brand lift and everything were phenomenal. So the fact that then we now translate into experiences and delivering some really cool and compelling things both at Old Trafford, globally around the world through digital means, as well as at I Love United events around the world, and then at a really cool upcoming tour in North America that Tori's going to tell you a little bit more about. It's been a phenomenal sort of 360 approach, and we're seeing the uplift. It's been incredible.
Could I talk to the results
Yeah.
quickly? Because
Well,
I think that's very relevant.
And before we get to results, for people who don't know, like, what are those experiences? Like, what are you providing exactly?
So I think some of the language in the video was beautiful. So the paradise of sound. So looking at Old Trafford in terms of the audio, in terms of the optics, how do we increase your experience of a better photo at a moment of passion through delivering you to Old Trafford? So really capturing the heart and passion of our fans has delivered an uplift of 83% in brand awareness to Snapdragon and a preference of 53%, which is really quite interesting for a product that's inside. So it's powering your mobile phones, your cars. It's a really interesting category and subset to be working through, and how we can build that relationship with our fans.
Victoria, I'm going to pose this question to you again. What are the types of experiences that the fan is getting? Is it access to exclusive videos? Is it games? Like, what do they actually get?
So I think we were talking about the audio in the stadium and how that's enhanced. We have the Insiders program, which has been very compelling. So Chinese New Year, we had a huge uptake in terms of the Insiders who participated in competitions. We have the Theatre of Dreams in Beijing, where we have interactive technology. So you can be the player. You can play on the Manchester United, the hallowed turf of Old Trafford. You can feel, live, breathe these experiences through the power of Snapdragon. I hope that answers.
No, that's so helpful.
Great.
Even just the feeling of being the player, Andy, I think that a lot of your fans idolize what Man U does and wants to feel it. But until this technology, they couldn't necessarily do it. What is the reaction that you get from fans when they get to experience it in a more tangible way now?
And I think the reaction I've experienced, togetherness. I think that's what the fans want. I think the fans want to believe that they're close to the Manchester United players, the staff, everything that goes on at the football club. And having the opportunity, like I've mentioned beforehand, to travel and to experience these things with the fans, they really enjoy it. Everyone can't get to Old Trafford, we totally understand that. So what Manchester United do is bring it all over the world, and that's a very, very special thing.
I feel as though it democratizes access as well, in that not everyone necessarily can afford or can just take off to go see a match, but through this, they can almost do it virtually. Victoria, what's your response to that? Is that something that you hear about?
No, it's a really interesting question. We have always looked and have built on our program of fan engagement strategies. So I Love United we were the first club to have an in-market activation. So it's match screening. They're complementary. We always oversubscribe. Coley will have done a number of I Love Uniteds for us all over the world. So it's about bringing our fans closer through virtual events as well as in-person events, which obviously when looking at the pre-season tour where we're playing in the US this summer, it represents a great opportunity for Snapdragon as we're playing in the Snapdragon Stadium against Wrexham. Also, you may know, owned by Ryan Reynolds. So we're getting our social media team really up to speed in terms of the content that we'll be producing on that. But delighted to be in San Diego for the first time for Snapdragon.
Amazing. And Don, walk us through, you said there are 12 million global Snapdragon insiders. How does one become an insider? And once you're there, what does that engagement look like? Are you downloading an app? What is the onboarding? How does that process go?
Sure. Well, we want to make it as easy as possible to become an insider, so we went out to where people were already hanging out and having conversations. So across social platforms, whether it be Twitter, Instagram, Reddit, Twitch, Discord, in China, Weibo, Bilibili, WeChat. So we have Snapdragon handles and Snapdragon places all over those social media platforms. So it's simple as just following one of those platforms at the @Snapdragon handle, you instantly become an insider. If you want to give us a little bit more information, like your email address, then you get more access to content, to experiences, to contests, to gamification. And then we actually have a Snapdragon Insider Up program where we're helping some of our insiders build their own social followings and becoming influencers in their own right. Right now, I'll give you a statistic. Our 12 million insiders today have the ability to amplify our messages to another 8 million people that they influence on their social profiles. So we make it sort of a ladder, but we wanted to make it really easy to join and then give them a journey to become more involved and more engaged, and then we give them access to more stuff as they become more engaged.
And walk us through what an average Snapdragoner looks like. Does this cut across demographics and ages? Is this mostly young people? What is it? Is it mostly people that are English speaking? What does that look like?
Well, it's a very global audience. Actually, of the 12 million insiders, about 5 million of them are in China. We have 2 million in Latin America. So it's a very global community. They are tech influencers. These are people that like to talk about technology, that don't just take their devices or their device portfolio for granted by the packaging on the outside, but they really want to know why their smartphone can do what it does. They want to know why their car is becoming smarter and more connected. They want to know why their Louis Vuitton watch is now connected to their phone and giving them health information and why their fitness tracker is doing what it's doing. So they're really interested in technology, and they like to talk about it. And they love to share. They love to do unboxings of tech products. These are people that are not shy. and they're super engaged. So it's a really ripe community. In the U.S. alone, there's about 20 million tech influencers if you look at it from a demographic and psychographic perspective. They are a little bit younger. They skew a little bit male, but it's actually like 51-49 male-female. And again, it's just people that they are early adopters of technology, so they're always buying the latest, greatest gadgets and stuff. And that's sort of the profile of a Snapdragon.
Andy, you mentioned that before when you were on the field, the social media presence, it wasn't the same way that it is today. And so I'm curious, do you think players today need to be more tech savvy in order to build a fan base? Or do you think it's possible to still focus on the game and not be as obsessive about health tracking and apps and all the things that Don just talked about?
Of course you can. But I think as players, naturally, you have to concentrate on your job. But that's why you have the opportunity to invite somebody who is very savvy on doing things like that to run your IG account or Twitter account or whatever it may be. If it was me personally playing now, I would definitely do that because I've not got a clue about these kind of things because I'm a little bit too old. And trying to catch up and doing these kind of things now is rather difficult, I'm not going to lie.
Andy, you do not look a day past 20 to us, believe me. Victoria, as somebody who's managing these partnerships on behalf of Man U, how does this serve as a stepping stone for other things you're looking to explore in bringing Man U closer to its fans?
So I think in terms of our partnerships and the relationships that we have with our fans, they enable us to touch every part of their everyday life. So when you are talking about the technology and we're storytelling on how is it important and what does this mean, but we take our responsibility in terms of our partnerships very seriously. So if you look at the caliber of the partnerships that we have, the due diligence that we complete, it's very important in terms of commitment to youth, which is one of our defining pillars and has been since 1878. So looking at the type of partnerships we'll have, but how does it make sense? How does it resonate? So whether you're looking from a Snapdragon perspective at how we can then build and work with some of Snapdragon's partnerships to continue to storytell that makes sense to the fans. And authenticity is critical. If a partnership's not authentic, then it doesn't create the traction that's required. And it becomes more of a badging exercise. So looking at our roadmap, we have a tech roadmap with Snapdragon in terms of integrations that we'll be delivering through the term of the contract and storytelling in a creative and engaging way.
Don, thinking about what you've been able to do with Man U, how does this serve as a blueprint for other sports teams and other partnerships that Qualcomm might want to explore? Are you having those conversations?
Yeah, absolutely. We are, in the last 2 years, we've actually been very aggressive in the brand partnership space. Manchester United was an amazing negotiation and partnership. I think it took us longer to negotiate it than it did to actually execute the contracts. But it's been an amazing partnership so far. It has been a blueprint. And what I said before, I mean it. The partnership team and the whole organization at Manchester United is just so professional, top-notch. I've done Olympics, I've done NFL, I've done MLB in my career. I've done every sports team league type of sports sponsorship, from esports to football and American football. And the Manchester United team is just top-notch. But we entered F1, so we looked at our growth in automotive. And as a blueprint of what we've done with Manchester United, we now are a partner of Mercedes, Petronas AMG, and their F1 team. Congratulations, Lewis, for getting third in the Canadian Grand Prix. And so we're building upon this, Sarah, to your question. So we're now looking at that next thing of what might be a good place for the brand to live with regards to a sports sponsorship.
And just broadly speaking, Don, why does sports matter so much to a tech company, and let alone like a back-end tech company that most consumers don't necessarily have a relationship with matter? Is it because it helps bring awareness of Qualcomm to these fans, or is it because you think you can actually bring something to them that no other tech company could?
I think the catalyst is passion. So these people are very passionate about sports and about their team or about their league or about their type of sport, but they're also very passionate about things like photography and music and gaming. And these are all things that our chip delivers a better experience to consumers with. We deliver better photos in your phone. We deliver a better audio experience for your music, and we deliver the best gaming experience on a mobile device in the world. So we intersect all these passion points together, and that's where we see this really kind of unique goodness that we're able to bring and help build brand awareness. And goodness to our brand and equity to our brand is by crossing over these passion points. And so we think sports is a really, really good place to do that. Music's another great place to do that, but we started in sports, and we're already seeing tremendous results.
Andy, soccer is a unique sport in that you're not wearing helmets, you're not wearing pads, you're not wearing all of this gear. People really see your face and get to know who you are.
I hope so. I hope so, yeah.
So, but as a result of that, I think it gives soccer players more of an opportunity than perhaps other players to really deeply engage with fans. Speaking as somebody who's obviously so tenured in the sport, how do you think that the players right now are reacting to having this opportunity? And do you think that other sort of partnerships like this are going to come to other sports?
I would like to believe so. I think as players, for me personally, having the opportunity to interact with fans, that's what it's about. Because let's not forget, without fans, football's nothing. You know, we can talk about all the finances and things like that, but the fans bring everything to football. So to bring everything and give everything back towards the fan, me personally, I just think it's absolutely fantastic. And I know, being on the journey with Manchester United in my capacity, I know just how much the fans enjoy it. Having an opportunity to now interact with players, you know, I just think it's fantastic.
Just as a follow-up to that, because I'm personally curious, what does it mean to be an ambassador? Are you traveling with the team? Are you doing things like this? What does that look like?
I do all the things you just said. And I'm very, very lucky. You know, I'm in a privileged position that I have the opportunity to be sitting here now. I know it's a little bit warm and that, and I get it, but I'm not going to complain, you know, because to be involved with Manchester United in the capacity I am, you know, obviously doing my bit as a professional footballer, you know, not being able to interact with the fans as much as I do now, it's something that you could only dream of, you know, starting the game out and things like that. So it's something that I've really enjoyed.
Victoria, this obviously presents incredible opportunities for brands that you work with. It's not just Man U and Qualcomm, but any partners that you have, you can then integrate into the Snapdragon partnership. How are you thinking about that? How has that improved since you've struck this deal?
So we have many evidences of partners that work together and collaborate together. So DHL, for example, work with a number of our partners. So it's something that we're definitely looking at. There's real scope of opportunity. It's such an exciting category. But it's for the future and definitely in our mindset for the moment.
So we're going to wrap. At AXIOS, my company, we like to end everything with one fun thing. I would love to hear from you. What's one fun, surprising thing that you've learned through doing this partnership that we would all find interesting? Andy, I'll start with you.
Well, I'll be very honest. I've had the opportunity to go to San Diego. Absolutely fantastic. I've had the opportunity to go to the Snapdragon Stadium. Unbelievable. That wouldn't be out of place in England. It's absolutely fantastic. And obviously meet people like Don here. You know, just reaching out and meeting very, very special people. And like I keep saying, in my position now, not being a professional footballer anymore, it's a great honor, definitely.
Amazing. Don?
I think one of the most fun things is about to happen of this partnership from my perspective as a marketer. It's the Manchester United versus Wrexham match that's being played on July 25th at Snapdragon Stadium. It is marketing gold. Ryan and Rob are bringing their entire film crew down for Welcome to Wrexham. They're going to film the match. They're treating it like their Super Bowl. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be so much fun. It sold out in a day and a half. So if you have the chance to get to San Diego on July 25th, and if you can get a ticket, it's going to be an amazing event. I'm so much looking forward to this. It's going to be amazing.
But if you don't have the opportunity to go, you can just follow Snapdragon and be
That's right. You can just watch it.
That's
on
right.
your phone.
All right, Victoria, one fun thing. What surprised you?
The power of a chip. So when you look at how our life is evolving, our everyday things, the opportunities are endless. So whether it's electric vehicles, how it enhances your photos, how it enhances every single experience that you have, whether it's a physical experience or a psychological experience. We have immersed ourselves in the industry. and actually learning on the different verticals and the opportunity for the future. It's a very exciting industry. And we deal with lovely people.
Thank you.
I love that answer, the power of the chip. As somebody who covers media and technology, the fight over the chips, the chip wars has been so huge. So just to hear about how somebody who's the CEO of partnerships and alliances at a soccer team cares, it brings me so much joy. Just to wrap a few of the amazing things that we learned today, you know, I really liked, Don, what you were saying about how this is about partnerships and community. I think we often forget about the community piece of this when we're at a place like Cannes where we're just talking a lot about the partnerships. 12 million global insiders can amplify content to an additional 8 million people within their social followings. I don't think I ever thought about the crossover between tech enthusiasts and sport enthusiasts, but obviously it makes a lot of sense wanting to track their favorite players and teams, and also things like health and optimizing their own sports and fandom. Andy, what you spoke about how every single athlete, like the dream is to be connected closer to fans, and now you have the opportunity to do that more than ever before. And speaking of more fans than ever before, over 1.1 billion fans around the world for Manchester United. That gives my cherished New York Jets a run for their money. And then, you know, finally, I think what you said, Victoria, about making sure you're doing due diligence with partners is really important, because obviously you want to make sure when you're going to do such a deep commitment. Don noted that it took longer to plan this thing than to actually execute it. Andy, love that you finally got out to San Diego. Amazing. Love that you enjoyed the stadium and meeting new people. Don, the Man U versus Wrexham game in July, we are going to be looking forward to that. And Victoria, again, thank you for your wisdom on the power of the chip. Thank you so much to Stagwell for putting this together. A reminder, we're going to be here all day doing great programming, so stick around.